Have you ever walked through a hallway where even your own footsteps felt like they didn't belong? Do you know what it feels like to mop a floor, knowing someone's screaming just behind a wall and there's no one else around? Do you know what a morgue smells like at 2:36 a.m.? I do, and I wish I didn't. They say St. Augustine Memorial is the best hospital in New York. State of the art. Politicians come here, celebrities. They have a cancer wing so advanced that people fly in from other countries. The kind of hospital with 5 cafes, valet parking, and security cameras on every floor. But they don't put cameras in the morgue. I've worked there for 7 years. Night shift cleaner. Most folks don't notice us. Nurses nod. Doctors don't. Security waves if they're not asleep. But the morgue? Nobody ever goes there unless they have to. That's my job. Mopping the lower level hallways, taking out trash, polishing the stainless steel doors of the freezer room, cleaning up after the dead. It was Wednesday night when it happened. The night I heard the scream. Wednesday night was like any other. I clocked in at 11:02 p.m., 2 minutes late. No one cared. Not at night. The lobby was quiet. The smell of sanitizer was faint, and the sound of wheels on tile floors echoed like whispers. I pushed my cart down the elevator to level B3, the basement. The morgue is deeper than the pharmacy, deeper than maintenance, even deeper than medical records. It's the coldest place in the hospital. The elevator dinged open, and there it was. The long hallway, bright white lights, no windows, just the hum of air circulation and my own breathing. I started my usual routine, checked the biohazard bins, mopped the hallway between the morgue and the autopsy room, wiped down the handles. Don't make eye contact with the freezer door. Always, and that freezer door felt like it was watching me. Tonight, it was unusually quiet. No gurneys, no foot traffic. Even the security guard who usually sat near the door wasn't there. His desk light was off. Odd. I shrugged it off. Maybe he was called upstairs. Maybe he fell asleep in the back room again. Then, at exactly 2:36 a.m., I heard it. A scream. Not loud, but sharp, muffled, in pain. It wasn't the kind of scream that echoes down a hallway. It was the kind that sounds like it came from inside a metal box. I froze. The mop slipped from my hand. My heartbeat doubled. I didn't even turn my head. I just listened. Nothing. 5 seconds. 10. Then another noise. Not a scream, more like scratching. Scratching from inside the freezer. No. This couldn't be happening. I've cleaned that freezer door every night for 7 years. You get used to things, even strange ones. You learn to ignore things. You look down. You hum to yourself. You don't ask questions about bags with toe tags. But that night, I couldn't look away. The noise was subtle, but constant. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Like nails against metal, like someone trying to claw their way out. My first thought, maybe an animal got in. Maybe something stuck behind the paneling. But that scream, I walked slowly toward the door. My shoes squeaked on the floor. I could feel the cold from 5 feet away. Then the scream came again, louder, desperate. Help me, please. This time it was clear. Human, young, a woman's voice. I stumbled back, nearly slipped. Hello, who's in there? No response, no noise, just silence again. I ran to the security desk. Empty, no walkie, no radio, no phone. I had 2 options. Take the elevator up and report it, or open that door myself. I shouldn't have opened the door. The freezer system in St. Augustine's morgue is divided into 14 steel drawers. Each is labeled, numbered, and logged. protocol says only morgue staff and medical examiners open them, but the panel light on drawer number 7 was blinking red. It shouldn't blink. That means the drawer was unlocked. I stared at it. The red light pulsed like a heartbeat. Then I heard it again. Not a scream this time. Crying. From inside drawer number 7. My hand moved on its own. I pressed the release switch. The lock disengaged with a metallic click, and I slowly pulled the drawer out. My hand shook. Inside, there was a black body bag. Zipped. Still. Silent. But I swear to you, I saw it move. I stepped back, my breath catching in my throat. Then the zipper started moving from the inside. I screamed, dropped the drawer. It slammed shut. The red light stopped blinking. Everything was silent again. I bolted upstairs. I ran to the ER desk, and Nurse Sloan, who knew me well, looked up with concern. "You look like hell," she said. "There's someone in the morgue, screaming, drawer 7. She blinked. "Ray, no one was brought in tonight. I would have seen it. We haven't logged a body since 8 p.m. yesterday." I shook my head. "There's someone alive in there. I swear to God." She didn't laugh, didn't roll her eyes. She just picked up the phone and called down to Dr. Rourke, the head pathologist. "Drawer number 7, Rourke repeated over the phone. "That drawer's been empty since Monday." "You're sure?" Nurse Sloan asked. "Yes, I cleaned it myself." I interrupted, still shaking. "Then what did I see? What did I hear?" There was a pause. Dr. Rourke sighed. "I'll come down." We all went back down. Dr. Rourke, Sloan, and me. The hallway was exactly as I'd left it. The freezer door locked, no sound. Drawer number 7, empty. No bag, no body, no sign anything had been there. I swore I hadn't imagined it. Then we checked the security footage from the hallway outside the morgue. Timestamp, 2:36 a.m. I appear on screen, mopping. Then I freeze. I clearly react to something. I stagger back. I mouth the words, "Hello?" But there is no sound, no scream, no noise on the footage. Worse, when I open the freezer door and pull out drawer number 7, it's already empty. Nothing moved, no bag, nothing zipped. Dr. Rourke looked at me like I was crazy. Nurse Sloan looked scared. She said quietly, "This isn't the first time someone's heard screaming from down here." I looked at her. What? I didn't sleep the next day. I couldn't. Even with the curtains drawn, the air conditioner on, and the phone off the hook, my body felt like it never left the morgue. The cold hadn't worn off. I could still hear it. That cry, the zipper, the scream that didn't show up on security footage. When I woke from an hour-long nap drenched in sweat, I made a decision. I had to know what happened in drawer number 7. I found Nurse Sloan outside the staff cafeteria the following night, sipping coffee and scrolling through her phone. She looked up when she saw me. "You all right, Ray?" "Not even close." She nodded like she expected that answer. "Tell me what you meant." "Last night, when you said it wasn't the first time someone heard screams." She hesitated, looked around. Then she motioned for me to follow her to the quiet stairwell where security cameras didn't reach. "There was a girl," she whispered. 4 years ago, 2019, young, maybe 21. Car crash on Roosevelt Highway. No ID, multiple fractures. They wheeled her into the trauma unit around midnight, and she coded on the table." I swallowed. My hands were cold again. "We couldn't revive her," she continued. "Time of death, 12:47 a.m. They sent her to the morgue at 1:30. Freezer drawer, number 7, I said, finishing for her. She nodded. But here's the thing. Around 3 a.m., the cleaner on duty, Henry, called up in a panic. He swore he heard a woman screaming, crying for help. Coming from inside drawer number 7, I felt like the air was thinning around me. What happened to him? He quit. That same morning, said the scream haunted him. He said he could feel someone grabbing his arm in the hallway. And the girl? She was never claimed. No name, no family. No one ever asked. I stared at the concrete floor beneath us. She was cremated a week later, Sloan said. No ceremony, nothing, like she never existed. The morgue has 2 logbooks, one digital, one paper. The digital one tracks patient IDs, toe tags, barcodes, and medical notes. The paper one is messier. Scribbled initials, pen marks, coffee stains, personal notes, the kind of book people forget to check. I used my janitor's key card to get into the supply room where the old paper logs were kept. The box was labeled Morgue, 2019 to 2022. I flipped through, searching for drawer number 7, and there she was. Entry date, October 11th, 2019. Time of death, 12:47 a.m. Freezer, location, number 7. Notes, Jane Doe. Estimated age, 20 to 25. Cause, blunt force trauma. No ID. Facial lacerations, pale blue dress. But below that entry, someone had written in shaky handwriting, screamed when locked in. Called my name. I don't know how. I didn't tell her my name. It was signed, H.M. Henry Mendez. I dropped the logbook. She'd spoken his name? I had to know more. The next few nights were quiet. No screams, no movement. But the air down in the morgue hallway seemed colder than usual, and not from the cooling units. I started noticing strange details. A mop bucket wheel that turned on its own. A gurney that rolled 2 inches backward when my back was turned. Elevator doors that opened when no one had pushed the button. One night, around 3:12 a.m., I was buffing the floor when the lights flickered in the morgue, and drawer number 7's red light started blinking again. No screaming this time, just blinking. I stood completely still. Then the drawer opened on its own, halfway. Inside was the same body bag, but this time the zipper was already halfway undone, and a pale hand was reaching out. I didn't scream. I just walked backwards, slowly. My walkie crackled with static. "Ray," came Nurse Sloane's voice. "Where are you?" I couldn't speak. I dropped the walkie. When I looked back, the drawer was closed again. Red light. Gone. I went to the Public Records Archive the next day, found a friend who works night IT at the local press, asked her to look up obituaries from October 2019. No mention of a Jane Doe from Roosevelt Highway. Nothing. Even the hospital's own obituary archives, which are required by state law, had no record of a girl dying at 12:47 a.m. on October 11th. But I'd seen her name in the logbook, the pale blue dress, the date, the drawer number. Someone had erased her. I found Dr. Rourke outside the morgue on Friday night, sipping lukewarm coffee and staring too long at nothing. He didn't look surprised when I approached. "Drawer 7 again?" he asked. I nodded. He sighed and said, "You want answers?" "Yes." He motioned to follow him. We walked down to the cold room in silence. Rourke unlocked the back office behind the autopsy suite, a place cleaners weren't allowed. It smelled like formaldehyde and rubber gloves. On the shelf was a folder labeled DOE Case 41. J. October 2019. Do not digitize. He dropped it on the table, opened it. A photograph slid out. It was her, young, pale, eyes closed, blood caked across her temple, still wearing the blue dress. She wasn't a Jane Doe, he said quietly. Her name was Lila Mercer, New York University undergraduate. Hit and run outside of East Village. I stared at him. Then why label her unknown? She wasn't supposed to die here. She was supposed to be transferred to New York Presbyterian, but paperwork got delayed. The family was influential. There were calls, lawyers. Suddenly, she was forgotten. He tapped the photo with a shaky finger. She had a rare heart condition. The trauma didn't kill her. She slipped into a catatonic state. No one caught it. My stomach turned cold. You're saying she was still alive when you zipped her up? Rourke's silence was answer enough. She died in that drawer, he finally whispered. Frozen, awake, screaming. Rourke admitted he'd heard the scream too, that night in 2019. But he didn't report it. No one did. Too many careers were on the line. Lawsuits, headlines, reputations. So Lila Mercer became a footnote, a body with no name, a ghost without a story. Drawer 7 was disabled for 2 years after that, he said, until someone fixed it last fall. Who? I asked. He looked me dead in the eye. You? I stepped back. I was told to clean it. Maintenance logged the request. He nodded. Exactly, you were told. But the request didn't come from me. He paused. Ray, they needed someone who wouldn't ask questions, who wouldn't look twice at a toe tag, who'd ignore a scream if it came from a steel box. I stared at him. You mean I was set up? He didn't answer. That Saturday, I went in for what I decided would be my final shift. I clocked in, took the elevator down, and wheeled my cart to level B3. But something felt wrong the moment the doors opened. The morgue hallway was dark, not flickering, pitch black. The only light came from drawer number 7. The red blinking was back, but it wasn't blinking. It was pulsing, like a heartbeat. I should have turned around. Instead, I walked toward it. The hallway lights flicked on behind me, one by one, as if something was waking up in sections. When I reached drawer number 7, it was already open. Inside was the body bag again, but this time unzipped all the way down, and the drawer was empty. Then I felt it. Cold fingers wrap around my wrist. I turned. No one was there, but I couldn't move. My body was frozen. The lights dimmed, and then I heard it. You let me die here? A whisper, clear, close. Then a face flickered in the reflection of the steel. Her face, pale lips, blood on her forehead, eyes wide open. I screamed. Everything went black. When I woke, I was in the hospital's psych evaluation room. Bright lights, blanket over my lap, Nurse Sloan beside me. You passed out in the hallway? She said softly. They found you screaming on the floor. How long? I asked. 3 hours. I looked down at my wrist. Faint bruises, finger-shaped. She handed me a file. Inside were security stills from last night. At 2:36 a.m., I appear on camera, alone, pushing my cart. Then, drawer number 7 opens, but no one's near it. And in one frame, a shadow stands behind me, female, in a blue dress. I looked up at Sloan. Do you see it? She nodded slowly. You were right all along, Ray. Then why doesn't anyone care? Because it's easier to believe in ghost stories than to admit we buried a girl alive. I quit the next day. Never went back. But some nights, especially around 2:30 a.m., I still hear that voice in my head. The scream, the zipper, the whisper. You let me die here. I tried to tell myself it wasn't real, that I imagined it. But when I got home, something was waiting for me. On my kitchen table was a toe tag from drawer number 7, and on it, written in red ink, Raymond Ellis, time of arrival, to be determined. 3 weeks after I quit, Nurse Sloan called me from a burner number. I hadn't heard from her since I was discharged from the psych room. Her voice was shaky, unlike her usual self. I submitted my resignation, Ray, today. Why now? I asked. She took a long pause. Because they cremated another one last night. Same drawer, drawer number 7. My heart felt like it stopped. Another Jane Doe? No, she whispered, not this time. A girl named Amber Ross, seizure patient, 23. She wasn't dead when they zipped her up. I saw her toes move. I almost dropped the phone. I reported it, she continued. They said I was exhausted, emotional, that it was a nerve twitch. I sat down at the edge of my bed. They sent her down to B3. I followed. Security blocked me. She lowered her voice again. Ray, when I passed drawer number 7 later that night, I heard her screaming. Sloan sent me something the next day, a thick manila envelope stuffed with photocopied papers, handwritten notes, and post-its stuck to pages. She had kept a binder, names, times, unexplained deaths, patients who died and were rushed out without full examination. Tina Holloway, age 19, seizure. Died at 3:14 a.m., body logged at 3:17. Marcus Young, age 22, overdose. No coroner note filed. Sarah T., age 21, unknown death. Tagged, but not autopsied. Amber Ross, cremated without family consent. All of them logged in drawer number 7. All of them alone at night. All of them young. There was one last page in the binder, handwritten, no official formatting, titled Unclaimed Patients, B3 Hold List. It listed 27 names. Under each one was a code, UN-ID-DNR-DOA, unidentified, do not resuscitate, dead on arrival. But I recognized one name near the bottom, Henry Mendez, the cleaner who quit in 2019. I checked public records. There's no Henry Mendez listed in the NYC Cleaners Union. No resignation form, no unemployment claim. But there was a hospital internal record showing a DOA tag for a Henry Mendez, filed October 12, 2019. Drawer number 7, I went back. Not because I wanted to, but because I needed to see it one last time. The hallway on level B3 hadn't changed. Still sterile, still silent, still cold. But now, something had changed inside me. I wasn't afraid of the door anymore. I walked slowly past the steel drawers. They were all sealed, all blinking green, except one, drawer number 7, red, waiting. I stood in front of it, watched it pulse. No cameras down here, just me and the thing behind the door. I reached out. My hand hovered over the handle, and then I heard her voice, right behind my ear. You know what they did to me? I didn't scream. I didn't run. I whispered back, yes, I do. The light stopped blinking. Drawer number 7 hissed slightly and locked itself shut. The next morning, I got a letter on my doorstep. Typed, no return address. It read, Mr. Ellis, you are no longer authorized to access sub-level records of St. Augustine Memorial. Please refrain from further investigation or contact. Sincerely, Administrative Oversight. At the bottom, handwritten in red ink, we bury the unclaimed so they don't bury us. I never went back. I moved upstate, got a job at a retirement home, peaceful, clean, no basements, no steel drawers. But some nights, around 2:36 a.m., I still wake in cold sweat. The bruises never fully faded, neither did the memories. Sometimes I look in the mirror and swear I see her standing behind me, pale blue dress, blood at her hairline, eyes wide open. I don't think she wants revenge. I think she just wants to be seen, remembered. So now I ask you, have you ever walked past a hospital morgue and felt something wrong behind the steel doors? Have you ever heard someone scream, but no one else did? Do you know what happens to the unclaimed when the hospital doesn't want them remembered? You do now. Don't ignore it next time. If you hear the zipper move, run, because drawer number 7 doesn't forget, and neither do they.